Hey everybody, it's Kirsten with Talk Travel Eat, and today I'm going to talk with you a little bit about your home search here in Portugal and just pass on a few things that I think you should be possibly thinking about. And this is just based on our previous experience. And now, when I'm talking about our previous experience, I'm not talking about just finding our place to live here in Portugal, but really of all of the mistakes or lessons that we've learned along the way with moving around so much, what we felt like was important, what we felt like we've done wrong in the past, and all of the decisions that really led us to find an apartment rental here in Portugal that we absolutely love and it meets our criteria. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is neighborhoods and where I think you should be searching for an apartment. So, my advice is to start searching for an apartment within your budget in the most affluent or best neighborhood in the city that you're looking to live in. And the reason that I say this is because the best neighborhoods are always the cleanest, they're always very well maintained, and you really don't have to worry about compromising your quality of life. Now, you might be saying to yourself, okay, wait, how is it possible to find a place in such a neighborhood when my budget doesn't meet that neighborhood? Okay, the first thing I'm going to tell you is, contrary to popular belief, not everybody moving to Portugal from California is wealthy. Many of us are on a budget. And Mark and I mean, we've always been on a budget, and we've always joked that we always have the cheapest apartment in the nicest neighborhood. Because it's true. We've always lived in really great neighborhoods wherever we've lived, but we've always had an apartment on the lower end of the spectrum in those neighborhoods. And it's something that we learned a while back, and it has really, really served us well. I think when searching for apartments, especially in the situation where you're moving abroad, I mean, moving to Portugal is a really exciting thing. And, we just want to get here and just start this new chapter in our lives. But all of that excitement helps us easily lose focus. And so I think people have an idea that they need a renovated apartment. I do not think that's true, and renovated doesn't always mean without problems. You can go on any of these online forums and read accounts of, people who have gotten renovated apartments, but that renovation, maybe painted over a mold problem. I have read these accounts, and this is not just in Portugal. This can happen anywhere. So what you really need is a clean apartment, and you need an apartment where everything works as it should. And so maybe it doesn't have the latest countertops or cabinetry, maybe some of the fixtures are a little bit older, but if it's clean and everything works, that is what you need in your apartment. And you can always go on Pinterest or one of those other sites and get ideas on how to, fix it up to your liking, make it look cute for cheap, all about that. But really, just don't get swayed. Another thing I'll say on this particular topic is that you're going to hear over and over that you can't afford this neighborhood, you can't afford that neighborhood, you can't afford this city. So I'll just say this: until you really dig in and see for yourself, don't believe any of that, because I believe that. I can tell you, when we first started researching about retiring abroad, it was back in 2015. And I remember at that time, that's when Lisbon was taking off, and the rents were going up high, and everybody was talking about how expensive it was. And I just never even really considered it after that. And then again, when we re-looked at Portugal right before this move, again, we were told Lisbon was too expensive for us. There are always going to be those people that don't do their homework, don't do their research, and end up overpaying for something. Don't be one of those people. There are apartments that you can find here in your price range, in a neighborhood that will make you happy. You might have to get out and knock on doors to find it, but at this point in time, I believe it can be done. So that's point number one. Look for an apartment in your budget, but in the nicer neighborhoods, okay? Always going to serve you well. The second point I want to make is ditch the extra bedroom. If you're single or a couple, how many beds can you sleep in at once? Your guests can either crash on your couch, or you can help them find accommodation nearby. I've heard people say, well, the extra bedroom is only costing me €150 more a month. Well, that €150 per month, or €1,800 per year, that can pay your annual premium for your private health insurance. I don't really have a lot more to say about that. I could go on and on. If you work at home, you can set up a work area in the living room. Sure, you'll have to make compromises with whoever you're living with. One person hang out in the bedroom, one person hang out in the living room. But if you're looking to save money, the extra bedroom is a waste of money, in my opinion. Okay, and the third point that I want to make is don't compromise on a building with an elevator if that's what you really need. If you've never lived in a fourth floor walk-up, now is not the time to start. Believe me, you're not going to want to carry your groceries up 3 or 4 flights of stairs every time you go to the grocery store. Now, I've heard people say, oh, my apartment is so cute, it's perfect, it has this, it has that, it has this, it has that. It's on the 3rd floor and there's no elevator, and that's okay. Well, that's not okay. Don't romanticize the walk-ups. Mark and I have lived in a walk-up, and it really is a pain if it's not something you're used to. Now, if you're younger, in your 20s and 30s, that's a completely different story. But if you're a little bit older, just say no. Just say no to the walk-up. Now, I'm sharing all of this with you because these are mistakes we've made over the years, lessons we've learned. We've lived in a lot of apartments, we've moved to a lot of different cities, a lot of different neighborhoods. And we really felt strongly about these 3 things coming here to Portugal. Now, your things might be different, or you might be thinking this is an impossible list to meet all three of these criteria. And you know, it might be. It all comes down to doing your research and putting in the work. I feel like if you put in the work, you really can find what you're looking for. If your wants are reasonable, which I think these three are very reasonable, then it can be found. Maybe one or two, pick one or two of these. I just wanted to bring attention to these three areas because they're not something people really think a lot about or really consider carefully enough. And I really think when you're talking about day-to-day living over time, I don't think they get their due, and I really think they should be considered. So again, stay in your budget, but always search the best neighborhoods. Don't get the extra bedroom if you don't need it. I think 9 times out of 10, you really don't, but that's just my opinion. I feel like that money could be better spent in another way. And 3, be careful about how cavalier you are about needing an elevator, because I feel like that one is the one that people really, really don't consider. And I know in our minds, finding an apartment is something we need to check off a list, but you also really need to think you are going to be living here in the apartment. So, as always, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about this video. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate you hitting that subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.